We imagine wars are fought with tanks and soldiers, but the real battle of our era is silent and digital. It's waged in server farms, across invisible internet pathways for control of the code and data that run our lives. While governments debate military budgets, a new empire is being built, one bite at a time. The question isn't who has the biggest army, but who controls the network. Your smartphone, your smart speaker, your self-driving car, these are the new front lines. They're not just conveniences, they're territories in a global struggle. This is a war, without declarations or front lines, a contest of systems and ideologies. American free market chaos faces off against Chinese state-driven ambition. One is loud and messy, the other methodical and efficient, and it's winning in places we're not even looking. Our interconnected world is now the battlefield. Every cable, satellite, and cell tower is a potential choke point, a weapon. The power to disrupt communications, cripple economies, or manipulate public opinion is the new nuclear option. And this power is being consolidated by a single determined player. The US, distracted by internal squabbles, is waking up to a game where the rules have changed. The stakes are absolute sovereignty, freedom from digital coercion, and who sets the standards for technology and communication. Will the future internet be open and decentralized, or censored and monitored? The fight for this future isn't coming, it's here. It's happening now, in the silicon of our chips, and the algorithms shaping our reality. The silence from this battlefield is the most terrifying sound of all. The illusion of peace is dangerous. Every day the digital world grows more contested. The outcome will define the next century. The real war is happening all around us, unseen. The question is, who will win? The answer will shape the world for generations. The front lines are everywhere, the battle is now. And most of us don't even know it's begun. Welcome to the invisible war. Made in China once meant cheap toys and knockoffs. For decades, China was the world's factory. Low wages, low value. The West outsourced manufacturing, and with it, expertise. We taught them how to build, handed over blueprints, and revealed supply chains. We never imagined they'd surpass us. That was our greatest miscalculation. While America celebrated, Beijing planned. Profits from manufacturing fueled a national project technological ascension. China sent its best to Western universities, acquired foreign tech, and forced technology transfers. This wasn't capitalism, it was state-sponsored acquisition. They moved from assembling iPhones to designing advanced microchips, from copying software to pioneering AI. The Made in China 2025 initiative was a declaration to dominate 10 high-tech sectors from robotics to biotech. Billions poured into R&D, national champions like Huawei and Alibaba were protected at home and unleashed abroad. The West, dazzled by China's market, missed the real prize: technological supremacy. Now the student has surpassed the master in key areas. China is no longer just the world's factory, it's the world's laboratory. More patents, more STEM PhDs, a self-sufficient tech ecosystem. The world's dependence on China is now for core technologies, not just cheap goods. The metamorphosis is complete. The factory is now a fortress, and we're all living inside its walls. The lesson: never underestimate a determined rival. The game has changed. The West must adapt, or be left behind. The future is being built in China. Power used to mean controlling sea lanes. Now it's about controlling the arteries of global trade and information. China's Belt and Road Initiative is the most ambitious infrastructure project ever. Ports, railways, pipelines, all leading back to Beijing. These aren't just development projects, they're strategic nodes of influence. When countries can't repay Chinese loans, Beijing takes control, like Sri Lanka's Hambantota port. This is 21st century colonialism, executed with contracts and debt. China gains control over shipping, trade, and dual-use naval facilities worldwide, but the physical infrastructure is only half the story. The digital Silk Road blankets Asia, Africa, and Europe with Chinese telecom equipment, data centers, and satellites. These systems come cheap, financed by Chinese banks. But the real cost is sovereignty, routing sensitive data through Chinese-controlled hardware. This creates a world split by technology. Chinese-built networks connect nations beholden to Beijing. China exports its model of digital authoritarianism, surveillance systems perfected at home, now sold abroad. The Great Firewall becomes a global template. This web of steel and satellites redirects goods, data, and loyalty toward China. The geography of power is being redrawn. The world's infrastructure is becoming a system of control. The map of influence is changing, fast, and the West is struggling to keep up. If data is the new oil, AI is the engine that runs on it. AI will transform warfare, medicine, finance, everything. The nation that leads in AI will lead the world. The US approach is fragmented, driven by private companies and academia. China's approach is unified, state-driven, and relentless. Beijing's goal: world AI dominance by 2030, backed by limitless resources. China's real edge? Data. With 1.4 billion people and few privacy protections, every transaction, post, and face feeds a massive state-controlled data lake. This torrent of data gives China's AI a training advantage the West can't match. The result? AI that can recognize faces, predict behavior, and power autonomous weapons. The West's respect for privacy and ethical debates are liabilities in this race. While US companies debate ethics, China deploys AI for surveillance and control. The race isn't fair, it's freedom versus control. In the world of data, control is a powerful advantage. The outcome will shape the future of power, and the clock is ticking. The next internet revolution is 5G, not just faster downloads, but the nervous system for the Internet of Things. The company that builds the 5G network sets the rules and controls the data. Huawei, backed by China, has outmaneuvered Western rivals, offering advanced tech at unbeatable prices. The US was late to respond by then. Huawei had signed 5G deals worldwide. The risk of espionage is real, but many nations choose cheap tech over abstract threats. The US has no alternative to offer. The result? Much of the world faces a stark choice: embrace Chinese 5G or be left behind. At the same time, China is challenging the US dollar with the digital yuan, a state-controlled, purely electronic currency. The digital yuan allows countries to trade with China outside the US financial system, undermining American leverage. Every transaction is monitored by the Chinese state, giving Beijing unprecedented economic insight and control. As China pushes the digital yuan through its partners, it's building a separate financial sphere, immune to US pressure. 5G dominance and a digital currency create a closed-loop, China-centric global economy. The US risks being cut out entirely, the stakes couldn't be higher. The world's economic architecture is being rewritten. The 21st century battle is for data fought on two fronts: the apps that harvest it and the chips that process it. TikTok, owned by China's ByteDance, is more than entertainment. It's a global data-gathering tool, installed on over 1 billion phones. By law, any data collected can be demanded by the Chinese government. Banning TikTok risks backlash, allowing it means mass surveillance by a hostile power. The data fuels AI, enables blackmail, and shapes public opinion, a Trojan horse in our pockets. The second front, semiconductors, the brains of modern electronics. The US leads in design, Taiwan and South Korea in manufacturing, but China is racing to catch up. China's chip weakness is America's last choke point, and the US is squeezing. China is pouring billions into chip independence, poaching engineers, and stockpiling equipment. If China masters advanced chip making, it breaks free from Western leverage. The race is on, and the stakes are existential. The fight for silicon is the fight for modern power. Whoever controls chips controls the future. The US is finally fighting back, but the response is reactive and often clumsy. Tariffs on Chinese goods signaled a break from decades of engagement, but results are mixed. The real weapon, the entity list, blacklisting Chinese tech giants like Huawei and SMIC, cutting them off from critical US technology. This has slowed China's progress but also accelerates its drive for self-sufficiency. The world is splitting into incompatible tech ecosystems. The US pressures allies to ban Huawei with mixed success. Many nations weigh economic ties with China over security concerns. America's influence is limited in a globally integrated world. The US response is mostly defensive, blocking China, not building compelling alternatives. Where are the American champions for 5G, for new platforms, for manufacturing? The US is playing whack-a-mole, not pursuing a strategy for victory. Without a bold vision, it risks managing decline, not winning the future. The silent war has silent casualties. Stories buried in classified files. Chinese espionage is a whole-of-society effort. Cyber attacks, insiders, academic collaborations. Thousands of small thefts add up to a complete transfer of Western technology. The FBI opens a new China-related counterintelligence case every 10 hours. Fear and distrust grow. Can we trust our own infrastructure, our own research labs? This is China's psychological victory, forcing the US to turn inward, to spend on defense instead of innovation. The enemy isn't just at the gate, he may already be inside. The logical end of this conflict is a fracture. A world split into rival blocks, one led by the US, the other by China. Supply chains reroute, technology standards diverge, nations are forced to choose sides. Some join the US camp, others are drawn into China's orbit through investment and technology. Europe tries to stay neutral, but the pressure is immense. The US can't stop China's rise, but can it maintain leadership in its own sphere? The American system is built for sprints, not marathons. China has always run the long race. The invisible war is about to become visible. Its consequences will define freedom, privacy, and power in this century. The real danger is in the digital fault lines between these blocks. The war is already underway. The first shots we feel are yet to be fired.